What if the biggest barrier to leadership isn't a lack of ambition, but the belief that leadership belongs to someone else? Today, we're challenging that idea. I'm Ruth Joshua, and this is EmpowHer. Joining me to challenge this idea today is Dr. Khadija Abdullahi Iya. She is a politician, lawyer, social entrepreneur, and education advocate committed to advancing literacy, women's empowerment, and poverty alleviation in Nigeria. She is recognized as one of the few women to have contested for Nigeria's highest political offices, having served as the vice presidential candidate of the Alliance for New Nigeria, ANN, in the 2019 general elections, and as the first female gubernatorial candidate in Niger State during the 2023 elections. She is also the founder and executive director of Beyond Mentors Community Care Initiative, an organization focused on mentoring young people and improving livelihoods in underserved communities. Through her initiatives, Rags to Riches Clubs and Women Community of Africa, she has championed access to education, leadership development, and economic empowerment for women and vulnerable groups. It is such a pleasure to host you today, Ma. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Joshua.
Ruth.
Ruth.
Yes, Ma.
For having me. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad that you were able to make it. Looking through your profile, I was saying, oh my God, I can't wait to host this woman in the studio. I can't wait for our audience to see what Dr. Khadija has to offer. So yes, let's dive straight into it. Going through your profile, you have broken several barriers in Nigeria's political landscape, becoming one of the few women to contest for the nation's highest office, vice president, one of the highest offices, vice president. I'm now racking through my brain to see how many women have we even had in Nigeria contest to that level of office. What motivated your decision to, join politics at a time where a lot of women view that space as unwelcoming?
Thank you, Ruth, for having me.
No problem. You're welcome, ma'am.
I'll tell you, honestly, I never planned to join politics.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're called to join politics, when you're called in my spirituality, when you're asked by the people to come out to vie for a position, you do not have the luxury to say no. You have to wait, you have to pray about it, and you have to get into it. So I did not plan to join politics from the beginning.
Okay.
So all the work I've done in the past had been mainly humanitarian. So the SI magazine started as humanitarian. We are into humanitarian journalism and social development. That started in 2010 and all of that. And Beyond Mentors started in 2006 with all the rags to riches and all of that. So my work is like an onion. Okay. One layer produces the next layer. So the motivation now to join was when after a lot of back and forth between me and the people that invited me to join. And you must know that it was terrifying for me when the first time I'm joining politics was at that level of vice president.
So that was the first, that was the first position you ran for? That
was the first position. So
just as you entered politics?
So it was like, you know how it is, like, I felt like, literally felt like, I was being drawn by the forelocks. I was fighting, no. Then. But eventually, I began to see the importance when I joined in 2019, when I joined Mr. Fela Durotui. I began to see the importance of women being in politics. I began to understand that we cannot continue to glorify the stagnation and the status quo of the things that are happening in Nigeria. We cannot continue like that. And female participation is an antidote to bad governance. It is something that, when you look at it deeply, you'll know that when women join politics, they're there with their minds, their body, and their souls. They join it because they're looking at the future of their children. They're looking at how they can serve. And for us at the development sector, we're used to serving. Even with or without funding or anything, we are used to serving. So I see leadership as that opportunity, being in politics as that opportunities to deepen my impact, because my responsibility is to chart a legacy of social development. And I know that it is only when I get into leadership, that's the public leadership, that is when I can get the essential tools, the essential opportunities to do it properly and serve excellently as I want to. So I keep telling a lot of people in development that we should not shy away from politics. We should not be sitting at the sidelines.
True.
And there was this analogy that I normally use every time I speak to people like you and everybody. I say that it was when I got in 2019 that I discovered that politics is actually the vehicle that consists our educational system, that consists our socio-economic system, our healthcare system, our everything that is us as human beings. Politics define it.
True.
So over the years, what we have seen is that we saw that we allowed people who do not have the capacity, who do not have the competence to be there, sitting in that vehicle, sitting at that driving seat to drive us.
Make the decisions.
And many of us who are technocrats, many of us who are professionals, many people who are academicians, people who understand the value of what politics can give. We sit at the back seat and say that, oh, we don't want to get our hands dirty. And when we say that, we sit down at that owner's corner and allow these people to drive the vehicle of our life. And then the vehicle of the lives of our children and our children's children. And they keep crashing it. This is 27 years of democracy. They keep crashing it. And we keep sitting down there. And I ask the question, who is stupid? Is it us who sit at the sidelines, or the people who are actually driving it? So at some point in our lives now, I see that there's an awareness that now the people who understand what it means to be in politics are now getting in. But there's a very the people who have been there, who are not doing what they're supposed to do. There's a stiff resistance. They do not want to let go because they know what they are doing. And a lot of them they are transactional politicians. They are not politicians who truly care about the welfare or the meaningful development of our country.
I want to touch on something very key that you mentioned. You mentioned women's representation in politics. In fact, you mentioned that women's representation is an antidote. Now let's look at a global picture of what women's representation has even been. You know, globally, the IPU, Interparliamentary Union, revealed that women's participation in politics is about 27.5% globally, which is already a low figure. But now let's even bring it back to Nigeria. Let's look at the numbers here in Nigeria, right? We have very low participation of women in Nigeria. Let's look at this report. This recent report by Interparliamentary Union ranks Nigeria at 174th out of 190 countries on the global classification for women's representation in national parliaments. So it means that as the figure is already low globally, Nigeria is worse off at 174th out of 190 countries. Now, putting this into perspective, or bringing it down, like to breaking it down for the layman, out of 109 seats in the Senate, we have just 4 women represented.
Let me just, sorry, can I come in?
Go on, please.
Let's just say Nigerians have an abysmal number, like 3.7%.
It's bad.
That's what we have. And let's be real, it's getting worse.
It is.
Because how many people now have been given the ticket?
Exactly.
How
against
many women
2027
against
election.
2027? It's
True.
getting worse every day. There are so many barriers.
What are some of these barriers?
So there's this stiff, it's not surface level barriers that affects the women in getting into. It's deeper than that. It's deeply structural, it's deeply cultural, and deeply financial. I'll give you 3 categories of what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
When we talk about, there's this systemic gatekeeping for, so we have this crony system that most of the people, they're trying to stop the ones who knows better to get into politics. So there's this crony system that mostly you see that they're transactional politicians, they're elite. So it's all about what is in need for them. It is not about those people who truly care about the grassroots connectivity.
Okay.
So there's this stiff, this gatekeeping, this systemic gatekeeping that the political elites do. Okay. So you have to have enough. So the incumbency syndrome that the people who are already in politics and those ones who are, I call them Nkaswa, political Nkaswa. That's like transactional politicians. Those are the people I'm saying that they are being stiff. They do not want anybody else to come in, because and the sad part of it is that they are gatekeeping it so well that they are doing everything possible, killing democracy gradually. The 27 years of democracy is dying slowly, because when you keep having these gatekeeping strategies to keep out the people who need to be there, we're just destroying democracy. And I keep telling a lot of people, we need to sit down and now reinvent our own kind of democracy, because it's not the one we went to go and copy and paste is not working for us. That's one.
Yes.
The second one is the economical aspect of it. This is very stiff. We know that most times women do not get into the seat. So I call it the feminization of poverty for women.
Okay.
A lot of women cannot get into the seat because they do not have the access that the male have. Access to finance, access to the network that the men have. So they do not get, like, for example, I use myself for example. During my election years, when I was running for governor, some people they will support. They will give you like, okay, let me just give her some money. Let it not look as if I'm not giving her.
Supportive, yeah.
So they give. So I hear there's somebody that in my state, one of the godfathers, the establishment, gave the incumbent about $1 billion or something. Yes. And when he invited us to come and sit with him, gave us about 2 million naira. So it wouldn't look like
he didn't support.
He did not support.
Yes. But there's a clear difference.
There's a clear difference that, okay, there's this thing that people have. There's a masculinity attached to leadership, that men are the ones that are supposed to be in the leadership gap.
True.
That's the second one. Then the third one is the narrative of inclusion. We are always talking about how women should be part of the entire process. The thing is, we keep battling. Look at the this fight that we did last year or thereabout, where women came out in their numbers to talk about women participation. A reserve seat.
Yes,
bill for the reserve seat. Affirmative, yes, 35%. So this narrative for exclusion, we keep fighting this battle instead of looking at the potential of women being a solution
but
to bad governance.
It never ever comes to materialization.
Yes. So all of these things are the barriers that keep women out of it. Right now, everybody keeps asking me, are you not coming out for 2027? 2023, I did not even want to come out. I wanted to watch and study. But I couldn't keep quiet when our people, the youth from my state, the women, some institution called me and asked me to run for it. And I had somebody that was saying, no matter what it takes, I'll be there for you, I will stand. But at the end of the day, when we're gaining momentum, that person had to ditch us because he's also part of the establishment. And the founder that is the one sponsoring us. So he had to stop. So anybody that asks me to run, I tell them, if you have 3 billion or to 5 billion, I'll do that. But if you don't have, leave me out of it. Because we know the traumatic experience that we had. The system, when I talk about the deep structural issues that we have about financing and all of that, it is deep. Because if you don't have that kind of money,
where do you even begin?
Where do you begin? You don't have access, just like the people who are sidelining us, who have access to the treasury. You don't have access to that. So why would you go and kill yourself over even a people that do not even understand that they are killing them? You know, everything has become, it's a mess. So for now, I am focusing on what I do best, the work I do and all of that.
I think that would be a very good place to take a break. Do stay with us. When we come back, we'll dive into some of these realities as concerns women's representation in politics. Stay with us. If you've just joined us, this is EmpowHer, and we are discussing some of the barriers that are causes for women's underrepresentation in Nigeria and even globally. We're here with Dr. Khadija, and she's helping us to dice some of these realities and break them out so we can have a better understanding of some of these things. Thank you, Dr. Khadija.
Thank you, Ruth.
Just before we went on the break, we were discussing some of the deeply rooted structural barriers that women in politics face. Now, because of these things that we face, we see that a lot of women, even young women growing up now, we don't look at politics as something for us. We don't look at it as something that we would want to participate. It's just like you have people growing up or children growing up and saying, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. You don't hear people say, especially girls, you don't hear us say, I want to be a politician. Because it's almost as if that is cancelled from the register. It's a no-go area. There's no way for you to, for you to even approach that kind of career. Now, mixing this or bringing this back to the grassroots, let's talk about education. Because I believe, just like you mentioned, education, all of these things are linked to politics. Bringing it back to the grassroots, let's take a look at a report and then I'll build it up from there. So 1 in every 5 of the world's out of school children is in Nigeria. That's an issue on its own. And then 60% of these children are girls. Now, if 60% of out of school children are girls, how then do we even qualify this representation of women that we are fighting for? If we even happen to achieve it today, what is the future looking like for us when our girls cannot even go to school? This is not even, included in the girls that get married early marriage. Their parents use them to settle up of debts and all of that. The ones who cannot even afford to do anything because they were even raised with, they weren't even given the opportunity to have any other option. The typical Nigerian child grows up without a lot of options. So what is the future of this women representation that we are fighting for today? What is it looking like?
So, thank you very much, Ruth, for that question. I know that this statistics is a potential threat to the future of our lives.
I agree.
As a country and as a continent, it is something that it is like what we are doing is sidelining the potential of the female leadership, half of the population, female leadership. The opportunity of entrepreneurs growing, the opportunities of business people and creatives giving us the opportunity, they being part of the stakeholders to our economy. These 60%, imagine if they are groomed and nurtured and educated, for them to know that they are not what people say. That we often view girls' education as a social welfare scheme instead of viewing them as the potential stakeholders to our economy.
Yeah.
We have not realized the opportunities in grooming our young girls.
Generation. What
we have done is we are destroying our own economy by sidelining this demography.
Yeah.
We're sidelining them. And this pipeline, if we do not do what we're supposed to do, it is at our own peril.
True.
So I would say that we must begin, the solutions are, we must begin to view education as an infrastructure for development, especially for the girls, and making them see reason that this is something that that they need to know, that the families, even the families, are not just talking about educating them, making them see the direct connection of girls' education to the prosperity of the family until we begin to show that we, not just mere saying that children, young girls should step up.
Yeah.
We need to clear the path for them.
Exactly.
As mothers, as grandmothers, we need to do that. And the only way we can do that is, number one, is viewing education as an infrastructure. Also, the second one is bridging the technological gap.
Which is key.
So how do we do that? Taking school to them at this grassroots. Through, we have different technological app for educating children.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting down and waiting for all the bureaucracy of building schools and all of that, having an online education pipeline that will take you to the grassroots and educate this people, this pipeline is very important. Then the last part is looking at, you're talking about grooming our children.
Yeah.
We're talking, what we need to do is looking at the role model effect. The role model effect is what I have done. Once a young girl understands that they too can aspire to become president, to become vice president, to become governors, they know that it is something that when they see people like us do it.
Someone has done it, yes. They know that it's possible.
It is possible.
Yeah.
It is something that they begin to now stop delimiting themselves. Now it is for us to begin to change the consciousness of the girl child and make her understand that, or maybe let me say, we begin to reframe their consciousness of how they limit themselves to be less, and make them understand that it is for them to understand that they too can aspire to that, not only inspiration, not just only inspiring them, but making sure that they are part of it. So this practical skills building that I was talking about, we need to now have like a political incubator scheme.
True.
Where we can hold the hands of the children, of the young girls. If we're really serious about this, we have STEM incubators, we have entrepreneurship incubators. Why can't we begin to have political incubators for young girls? Yeah. And work with development partners who truly and genuinely, because some of them are it's just a facade, understand that bringing children, youth, young girls into the political sphere is also, like I mentioned, an antidote to bad governance. We will not go far. So this practical, bridging those gaps are very important. I always commend this, I don't know if you have heard about SPPG. I commend the work of Madam Obi Ezekwesili, where she grooms youth like you guys to understand the value of your political participation, to understand the value of grooming your character, making sure that you are competent, making sure that you have character, competency, and what's the other one? So I always say substance. We need people with substance to be in that political sphere. So that political incubator scheme also will be how to teach. We're teaching children, young girls, we're teaching them how to run by teaching them how to raise funds, teaching them how to also campaign strategies, teaching them what to do, teaching them most importantly why they are running. Because a lot of people, there's this perception about running for political office as a place to just reign as a woman, like wear the best clothes, tie gogoro,
eat the best.
They eat the best, and like a soft life, about lifestyle. We need to
change that perception.
change that mindset that women are not just like, they're not in governance or in
For the
leadership
lifestyle.
for that kind of lifestyle. They are there to serve. They're there to do the work. They're there to, so they need to, we need to begin to have that kind of incubator system where we groom our youth, our young girls to understand that leadership is service.
Those are very, very sound words. I think that these solutions that you have mentioned, they're solutions that are very practical. These are things that can actually be done. Yeah. Just before we let you go, I'd like you to look into the camera and speak to the young ladies who are watching this right now, who have had the push or the calling, like you mentioned in the beginning, you know, to serve. But looking at the political landscape, they are now discouraged and they feel like, you know what, maybe I should just abandon this dream. What do you have to say to them?
From me to you, as your mother, and whatever perception you have of me, I want you to know that you got this. And you need to begin to understand that we need you, that we need you to also know yourself and not to give up, and to understand that you being part of the political sphere is you being a solution to bad governance, not for you, for your children, for your grandchildren. You being part of the solution that would be the catalyst to change the entire stratosphere of what we are going through in Nigeria today. So we need you. Please come, join politics.
Oh, I'm so touched. I feel like if I was called to politics right now, I would, after this program, stand up and take my step, take my place, my rightful place. Thank you so much, Dr. Khadija, for this insightful conversation. It's been such a valuable conversation. Thank you for doing this with us. So if we have learned anything from this conversation today, is that leadership is not reserved for a select few. Sometimes it begins with the courage to raise your hand, to use your voice, and step into places where you've convinced yourself that you do not belong. Thank you for joining us on Empower today. I am Ruth Joshua. Until next time, don't just wait for change. Be willing to be part of it.